Infinity Train. The incredible 2D sci-fi mystery thriller anthology series originally produced by Cartoon Network has returned for a third season produced by HBO. Now, only half of the season has aired so far, and I told myself that I wanted to wait for the entire season to wrap up before I make any videos about it, but the mid-season finale left off on such a brutal cliffhanger that I would actually feel guilty not talking about it before the rest of the show comes out. And I know that talking about some of these mysteries so close to getting the answers might be a little counterproductive, but I never want to forget how I felt the week following episode 5. Just a heads up from this point forward, spoilers abound if you have not caught up on the show yet. Now, Infinity Train has never been a show that holds its punches. And while Season 3 is anything but one note, all of the mysteries convene on a single character, leading to the question, who or what is Hazel? Hazel is one of the new main characters of the season. She's a little girl who travels with her best friend Tuba, a big gorilla who has tubas coming out of her, shoulder blades, I guess? It's Infinity Train, don't question it. From the first promotional material of the season, Hazel was the biggest mystery on everybody's mind. The poster showed her looking at her hands that didn't seem to be glowing, leading many to speculate about her role in the series. Does she not have a number? If she doesn't, then is she just an incredibly human-looking denizen of the train? If so, why is she traveling with Grace and Simon, two cult leaders who murdered denizens for the fun of it? And then again, when the first few episodes revealed that she also had no memories of her life outside of the train. But then in place of any actual concrete answers, we got the bombshell drop of Simon murdering Tuba in cold blood, traumatizing Hazel so badly that she transforms into this giant turtle creature before the screen cuts to black. We are legitimately entering an era of bold, cross-generational dark animation, and I love it. Now, while this goddamn gut punch of a moment was confirmation for some that Hazel was a train denizen all along, longtime fans who are familiar with the curse of episode 8 were instead instilled with a far more sinister question. What if she isn't? Asterisk number 1, the curse of episode 8 refers to the fact that the previous 2 seasons had their most horrifying or sad moments during the 8th episode climaxes. We may have the answers that we need already, but I have some theories that I want to make known just before we know for sure. Theory number 1 is that Hazel is the victim of a Gome. The Gomes, our favorite murderous roach wolf demon things native to the wastelands that surround the train. We currently know nothing about them other than that they hunt down humans outside of the train and suck up some energy out of them that might be their souls. They also seem to be somehow antagonistic to the train, I guess possibly trying to claim human souls before the train can send them home, even though the train has the power to transform things into Gomes, so the two might have more of a symbiotic relationship. Asterisk number 2, my personal mini-theory here is that Atticus was actually just killed by Amelia, not transformed, just literally she shot a dog, and that the bodies of dead denizens become Gomes. Regardless of what they are, we still have no idea what happens to humans that are consumed by them. So what if instead of dying, they're simply just returned to the train as denizens with broken numbers and no memories, simply waiting to turn into whatever creature the train deems fit for them? Gomes ultimately might be irrelevant to the season. But I do feel like Simon telling the story of how the cat left him to be killed by a Gome might have actually been foreshadowing. The cat is crafty, arguably one of the smartest characters on the entire show. She wouldn't have had to kill Simon in order to get rid of him. She would have just had to help him get his number down, which I'm sure she could have done very quickly. But she doesn't even deny doing it. She sadly owns up to literally trying to kill a 10-year-old child, but does still seem to harbor feelings for him, even as a grown man. The running theme of this season seems to be toxic relationships, particularly between children and their guardians. And I get the feeling that the cat was doing this as a way to try keeping Simon, so that she wouldn't have to let him go. If Simon's story is important to the rest of the season, then I get the feeling this may have been what happened to Hazel. My second theory is that some passengers might be incapable of growing as people. This one might be a little long-winded, but stick with me. This theory came to me after rewatching the first episode where Grace mentions that
cars aren't supposed to move if people are inside.
Off the bat, I was on board with their own theory that 1-1 was hunting them down, or possibly even Amelia. Asterisk number 3, another mini theory that I have that we might actually get an answer to this season. I feel like Amelia might have actually started working with 1-1 on the engine in order to help as many people as possible, getting her number down as low as she could. It would be very odd if she didn't show up this season, mostly just because the season title is Cult of the Conductor, but who knows. But then I thought, what if the reason that this is happening is because the train might no longer see Apex members as passengers? They're not yet denizens, but they're clearly not trying to stay on the path that the train is laying out for them. So they're not truly passengers either. If this is true, I don't think that there's a set rule as to how this process begins. I doubt that it's necessarily how high your number is, but rather how likely it is that you can get it down. In Amelia's case, she has the highest number on the train, but it's because she spent decades doing terrible things in the name of holding true to a single conviction. It's a singular goal, and one that she holds to very, very strongly, but she has the potential to let go and overcome it fairly easily. Grace and Simon, on the other hand, have become so far removed from their personal crossroads that got them on the train in the first place that we don't have the slightest idea why they're on board. They were children that were abducted from their families, and now their only drive is to stay on the train and bolden the Apex society. Their nightmarish reality is the only thing that gives them any security, and they would actually be far worse off if they returned to Earth. It's very possible that the train looks at that situation and just says, "Alright, you're not passengers anymore. You're not going from one place to another, you have decided you're staying here, this is your home." So how does this help answer the mystery of Hazel? Well, as fucked up as this might be, her having amnesia would actually lump her into this exact same category. If she is toe-to-tip a human, and we assume that she lost her memories through natural means or through some kind of a glitch in the tape car, or she's repressing her memories because, she's 6 years old, and is probably incredibly traumatized by being spirited away onto a Hellworld train with no family, then she has no actual connection to her previous life. The train can't help her grow as a person because there's no starting point to grow from. It's not like she can grow from one person to another because that starting point is now irrelevant. This would also be a really interesting narrative tool to explain why the train's morality is fundamentally incapable of understanding what is best for humans. Because when the train's system does not work, it just gives up and consumes whatever it can't fix. If this is what's happening to members of the Apex, it could also be what's happening to Hazel. My third and final theory is that Hazel is a failed clone of Ulrich. Okay, so I had this theory when I first learned that the season was called Cult of the Conductor, that conductor being Amelia, and then I found out that it was actually a really popular theory online, and to be completely honest, I think it's because it's the most likely. The theory states that Hazel is not really a human, but in fact a denizen created by Amelia in an attempt to clone her late husband Ulrich. And there's already a ton of evidence to back this up. The most glaring of which is that her denizen form takes the shape of a turtle, an obvious nod to the fact that all of Amelia's attempted train cars were inexplicably filled with turtles for some reason, as well as all the people that she tried to make being turtles. We actually have confirmation from the Twitter account of series creator Owen Dennis that the Turtle King Aloysius was actually a failed clone of Ulrich, which would explain why the two share a voice actor.
I do enjoy the occasional leaf of romaine lettuce myself. Just don't tell the missus.
Tell them we're sopping wet.
Shush. Shh. No, not you.
Yes, you!
We're very dry. 100% dry. It's very dry.
So it's not a stretch of the imagination to assume that other failed attempts to make humans resulted in turtles as well. This possibly includes Hazel, who didn't actually show this trait until she was quote-unquote broken by Simon. But there's a lot of other little pieces of evidence to support this as well. For one thing, if we look at her appearance, she has a different skin tone, but she sports a very similar hair color to Ulrich, and she also wears an oversized man's sweater vest and a tie. And even though she has the wrong accent, she does speak with slightly outdated British slang, saying things like,
"Don't be daft! I'm not leaving,"
and
"He's a good sort, but barking mad."
Which might seem like it's just a weird character quirk for a little girl, but it definitely seems out of place. And I think most fans picked up on that the moment it started. Asterisk number 4, like, damn, That is really good writing, by the way. I can't say I've ever seen mannerisms but in the wrong accent being used as a foreshadowing device, so if that's what's happening, well done. Really well done. So the question then becomes, why was Hazel somewhere else on the train? The answer is, Amelia is a really shitty person. We know that all of her imperfect creations were abandoned and sent far to the back of the train. And with all the facts we have considered, it seems like Hazel may have been a case of throwing the literal baby out with the proverbial bathwater. Alternatively, Hazel's slang might not be inherent. It's possible that she actually picked it up directly from Amelia, suggesting that Amelia might have tried raising her as a daughter, but then she might have gotten bored, she might have gotten tired of doing it, she might have gotten angry at the fact that she wasn't the person that she was supposed to be when she made her. So it's very possible that Hazel was, bathwater. So those are my 3 theories. They're not perfect, but they've been keeping me up at night for days now, and I'm so excited to see if I'm even close on any of them, but we'll see what happens. And now here we are at the end of the video. I've told you some of my theories about the show. I'd love to hear what you think about them and what your personal theories are. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Tell me about it however you want to. Throw anything you got at me. Okay, so I know that this isn't my usual type of video, but I still don't really know what I want the word usual to look like on my channel. I do a lot of painting videos, I do a lot of drawing challenges, but I also really like video essays and deep dives and theory videos, and I want to try my hand at that more often, but I still want to stay on brand as an artist. I'm recording this before editing, so I might throw a speed paint in there somewhere as a way to stay on brand, but we'll see what I do. If I did throw a speed paint in there, how do you like my drawing? Was it good? I bet it was good. Unless it wasn't good. I've been rambling. Let me know what you guys think of these kinds of, simpler videos, and if you like them. If you don't, I guess also tell me. I feel like I've got pretty thick skin. Also, if you like my stuff and you want to see me do more of it, or if you want to help me support what I do, consider checking out my Patreon. I don't really have that much stuff up there yet, but I'm probably going to be throwing up some sketchbook pages, and with every dollar you pitch in, that's another amount that I'm going to be able to use for rent and food. I'm so poor. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys the next time I make something. Peace.